You have been accepted for an experiment. You must stay in a room with nothing but bed/toilet/food/water and no human contact for 1 month. If you succeed for the whole month without giving up, you get $5 million. Do you accept? And what are your coping strategies to avoid mental breakdown? Do it in a New York minute. Just sleep as much as possible, and best my pecker till it looks like Freddy Krueger's face from Rub Burns. Edit: this is my top-rated comment. Couldn't be more proud. Edit 2, thank you stranger for the gold. 1 month in an empty room in exchange for enough money to comfortably retire on and never work again in my life? I'd take the deal. To keep sane, I'd meditate, and maybe make a pillow fort or do something with the food other than eat it. I could make macaroni art on the floor. It would be challenging but definitely worth it. You should check out this minefield episode https://www.youtube.com/watch Victix DD4. It's harsher than it looks, but for that amount of money I'd attempt it anyway. I think I would end up playing with my food a lot to pass the time. Like that game where you get a bottle of water to stand on end, or making sculptures out of mashed potatoes, that sort of thing. If I get bored with that I'd resort to mental mathematics. I'd also try to keep physical active, push-ups, sit-ups, etc. I would try. I'm a pretty big daydreamer and I think that between daydreaming and sleeping, I would manage. I think $5 million for a month would entice me to give it a go, and I imagine the thought of that much money would motivate me to stick it out. But, I am aware of the effects of solitary confinement and how it can have lasting effects on you. I spend most of my time alone, so the lack of people wouldn't bother me, I don't think. However, I don't spend all my time alone just eating, drinking, sleeping and staring at 4 walls, which I would be doing in the experiment. That would be tough. Edit: I also think a difficult aspect of the experiment would be not knowing what's happening in the world around you. With information always seconds away with our devices, a month without that information at our fingertips would be irritating, in my opinion. I could probably sleep without a bed, so I would tear it apart and use the shreds to make a village out of dolphin people. I could color them somewhat using the food and water to spice things up. After the village is complete, I would convince myself that I am a dolphin too, and would make whale noises for the next 4 weeks as I attempt to learn their language. If I'm lucky, I might even get a job as a shell slinger at the local stadium. I think I would start talking to all of the hallucinations I would start having. I would probably do a lot of stuff that involved moving my muscles and touching the wall's floor so I don't feel so alone. Edit: this https://www.youtube.com playlist LISP0DCDF28C826176678 is what I was thinking about when I was talking about hallucinating. Sensory deprivation is tough. No human contact, I've already got that down. I would try to vividly remember everything I've ever liked. I'd think of songs, books and movies I like and try to dissect what I like about them and how they relate to other things and what they mean to me. Greatest hits of memories. Think of the future. Think about what kind of life I want to live when I get out. Try to prioritize what means the most to me and plan what steps I can take when I get out to make what I've been thinking about a reality. I think it's doable if you know it's only a month and there is a reward at the end. When people go crazy from isolation, it tends to be because they have no idea if or when it will end. Even if it does end, the future still tends to be bleak. The hopeless is what gets you, not the isolation. Fun fact: Michael Stevens of Vsauce did the first episode of Minefield https://www.youtube.com/watch Victix DD4 on isolation, essentially this exact concept but for only 3 days. I would absolutely do it, even though it would be absolute hell. Sleep would be my most welcome ally. Edit: wow, my highest karma for a comment by far. Thank you based Vsauce. I'd probably figure out how to carve on the walls, create art. A lot of push-ups, running in place, masturbation, meditation and trying to recall specific memories in detail. I try to think about specific things I've learned in a lot of detail. I do a lot of praying. I think I'd try to teach lessons out loud or practice speeches, make up songs, poems, dirty limericks, jokes, etc. I'd try to take a topic such as outer space and recall everything that I know on this topic. I'd also daydream a lot, and probably rant about things that had troubled me in the past. I would not be ashamed or afraid to speak out loud. I'd probably have a full-on mental breakdown at some point. It would be hell and I'd hate it. But, the month would end, I'd have $5 million and a pretty good premise for a book. ITT, people that don't realize how difficult it would actually be. Like unlimited food of my choosing? I think if I could do that I'd be okay. I spent 16 hours in a detox cell after getting a DWI though, and I was already counting and recounting bricks and getting a little anxious by the time I got out. Every time they brought food I felt a little relief. I think it would be tougher than people think. As long as I could wash too, because you don't mention a bath, without that wouldn't be a deal breaker to me trying it, but would probably be what caused me to quit. All of these people thinking it would be easy should watch Alone. It's a History Channel show with a similar premise. What's different that opt is if you have no tasks to keep you busy. I would specifically look at Season 3 for those interested. The winner barely lasted 87 days. I doubt they would have made 30 with nothing to do. I'm not saying people cannot do it. I am saying that isolation is a punishment for a reason. It breaks people. It messes with your mind. Sorry, I would go insane. I wouldn't do that for 5 meters unless I could have an opt-out button. Try to not count the days, just let them pass. I'd try to sleep as long as possible. To finally take really long to do basic things like use the bathroom, eat, clean up, to pass the time. Try to keep everything uniform by making a designated area for dirty plates. Make my bed military style to keep me sane. Probably try not to repeat the same process over and over or it'll get repetitive and I'll start to go crazy at it. Lots of people are calling me out on discrepancies and flaws. To be honest, I wrote this while tired and didn't put too much thought into it. Sorry to this or that are for some reason frustrated with me for not being perfect on my answer. Been in prison for 12 years. I've got this standing on my head. Workout, bodyweight fitness. Nap, a lot. Masturbate, a lot. No problem. $5 million sounds tempting. This study appears to be close to full sensory deprivation, so different from Ops Challenge. But nobody lasted more than 7 days. https://www.pbs.org/bh Frontline article. What does solitary confinement do to your mind? They wore goggles and earphones to limit their sense of sight and hearing, and gloves to limit their sense of touch. The plan was to observe students for 6 weeks, but not one lasted more than 7 days. I did this when I was going through heavy depression. I would sleep a lot or stare at the wall. I would practice meditation, sleeping. I would tell myself stories that I could publish when I get out. I would take the attitude of enjoying it. It would be the long-needed break my workaholic self needs. Is there any human being who's not already a multimillionaire who wouldn't accept this? I would also do it for $500,000. I would do it for $50,000. 1 month is a blip. I would just work out and masturbate a bunch. Is there lotion? Absolutely. I've done my time, including a good stint, 3 weeks, in SC with no control over my surroundings. Doing a slightly longer bid with a light switch and a toilet that actually functions would be ducking great. Coping strategies? Sleep all day, nap, eat, nap, sleep. Workout. Shadowboxing is a great one in solitary. Forget about time, it's an abstract concept in this box. There is no time, there's only activity. Eat when I'm hungry, Sleep when I'm tired, work out when I've got energy. For $5 million I'd go 2 months without looking back. Am autistic and socially inept, I'd probably feel normal for a ch. Meditation and working out would keep me sane. Also gives me plenty of time to work on that novel I've been writing. So $5 million over 4 weeks is $1,250,000 a week. On a busy week at my current part-time job I make around $200. So I'd be getting 6.25 thousand times as much money, if I succeeded. If I have say a 1% chance of making it, I'd still be making over 60 times as much as I am now. So I'll definitely give it a shot. Duck it. For $5 million I'll deal with it 24 hours light, as maddening as that would be. That said, some pencils and paper would make a world of difference for me. BTW, it's $6, 944.44 hours, every hour.